Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow, singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, Halloween stuff. In this video, we're going to be talking all of the Halloween spooky themed products that I have in my makeup collection. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. Now, I'm not sure if this video even makes a whole lot of sense, but I thought it was kind of a fun idea because I feel like Halloween releases have become so much more prevalent than what they were before, and in my personal opinion, I think that's because of the original Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. That palette like blew up and sold out so quick, and everybody's like aftermarket reselling it for these crazy prices, even used. And I think that helped a lot of bigger brands see like Halloween matters, Halloween is interesting, people like it. So now we have lots of Halloween releases, and I could not be more excited. So let's talk about all my spooky stuff. So the first thing I'll mention is this brush holder. This one I got at TJ Maxx, but I've also seen these on Amazon for a lot more money. Yeah, super cool, spooky brush holders. I love it. I have two of those in different sizes. I also have this teeny tiny little skull, and he's got like an iridescence to them, which is probably going to get blown out. But I love to keep all my eye brushes separate based on their use. So I really like that one for all of my like inner corner detail brushes. So moving on, I will quickly mention the Fantasy Makers stuff from Wet n Wild. These mascaras suck, and the reason that I'm mentioning them is because I don't want you to waste your money on them. They're $5 a piece, and the brushes are absolutely terrible. They're super far apart and super painful to try to use. Like on your actual eye, it feels like you're just rubbing glass. Like, it's terrible. So yes, these are Halloween launches. They're terrible though, skip those. The glitter liners, they're like okay, but just skip it. Alright, so where do I want to start? I don't even know. I guess I'll start with what's on my eyes right now, which is the Hocus Pocus 2 collection from ColourPop. I did pick up the entire collection, so I've got the palette, the highlighter, I've got the 3 Jelly Much Super Shock shades. I've got the 3 lip glosses and the mascara. I also have the cat ears floating around here somewhere. I'm not going to show you swatches of everything because I have videos on a lot of this stuff, so if you're interested in specific swatches on specific products, let me know, but there's a lot of these that are already up on my channel. The other Hocus Pocus ColourPop collab was this one, so I have that original one. I did not get the second one because it looked kind of boring to me. Then continuing on with ColourPop, I have the Nightmare Before Christmas palette, which I do feel is a Halloween themed palette, not a Christmas themed palette, although I'm sure I would have a heated debate in the comments about that, but it feels more Halloween to me than Christmas, so there is that one. And then I did pick up one of the Jelly Much shadows from that collection, which was the Lock one, and that is the one that has that like blackened purple with like a blue flip. Super pretty. And for these, I don't know why they only gave this like little thin plastic sheet instead of like an actual stopper. I don't know what that was about, but annoying. Then other little bits and pieces before we dive into palettes. I have one of these spooky glow-in-the-dark sponges from Wet n Wild from their Halloween collection this year. I have the Simpsons Revolution Halloween Treehouse of Horror face palette from the last year, which is just blush, bronzer, highlighter. Super pretty. And then this is one of my favorite things. This is from Bitter Lace Beauty, and this is their Book of Magic. You can see it has this like darkened, hollow kind of background to it. Oh, look at that. And then you open it up. It has a skull in the mirror. Love that. And then you've got 6 spots for 6 pans. I believe these are 54 millimeters that it holds. And then you pull out this second window and you can actually hold more. I've been meaning to pick up some of the Bitter Lace highlighters, so I haven't filled this with other things yet because I really would love to put the Bitter Lace shades in here, but they haven't all been in stock at a time when I also had enough spare cash to pick them up all at once. So that's that on that. Let's talk palettes. This is going to be all in a crazy out of order, but it's whatever. I have the Alien Cosmetics Not Normal palette, which definitely gives me like kind of Halloween vibes, and the color story is definitely like spooky fall Halloween greens and purples. I have the Nomad Berlin Underground palette, which I do feel is very Halloween-esque because it's very like dark and grungy, perfect for fall. I've got these two Profusion palettes which came out, I believe, 2 falls ago at this point. You have this one, which is more of like a fall autumnal color story. And then the Mercury Retrograde is my personal favorite, which looks like this. Very pretty, almost like a celestial kind of Halloween vibe. I've got the BH Venom palette, which I have yet to play with, but I'm really excited. But I feel like Venom, that was their Halloween launch from last year, so it counts. Some of these are very loosely counting, by the way. Then I have the Makeup and Murder Partner in Crime palette, which I feel like counts because it's literally got skeletons and blood splatters all over it. Oh my god, don't drop it, Heather. But it looks like this. You've got some really cool skull and crossbones on here. I like this palette a lot. Then we've got the Hauntingly Glamorous palette from Alien Cosmetics, or Unearthly, whatever. Looks like this. What is with the dropsies today, man? Oh my goodness gracious. I've got the Give Me Glow Bad Witch Club palette, which came out last year, and this is like such an awesome, like, cool color story for spooky season. The Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette, which really set off my love of all these Beauty Bay palettes. And it looks like this. Very pretty. This one, again, kind of a loose one here, but the Pirates of the Caribbean palette I have kept. And it definitely has just this very like cool toned color story here, but because it's like pirates and sort of fantasy spooky stuff, I figured it fit enough of the theme. I do also have the face palette for that. Hold please. Here is the face palette that you can actually tuck inside, and it has a bunch of really, really light colored shades, but very, very pretty. I have the Fatale Beauty Frankenslay palette, which looks like that. Super cute. And it's just a little 6-pan, some brights, and 1 pressed glitter, which is allegedly eye safe. I don't know about all that. Then I've got the Dark Souls palette, and this is from Unique Beauty, which has this really beautiful color story. Nice and simple. The LA Splash Classic Horror palette, which I just love both sets of packaging artwork for this palette. And it's like a muted grunge rainbow matte color story. I have the Sugar Pill. This is the capsule number 3. This was their holiday palette from last year, the year before, I think 2 years ago. Then the Martine Cosmetics 669 palette, which was supposed to be kind of their spooky haunted palette, and the color story definitely fits that vibe very well. I've got the Melt Cosmetics Vida and Muerte palettes. I guess I should hold them the way that they go together, right? Vida and Muerte. I've got the Shroud Cosmetics It's Freaking Bats palette, which looks like this. I did not pick up the second one because I just was not as drawn to that color story as I was to this one. This one, like, literally sold me the moment I saw it. I have the Lethal Cosmetics Lethal is Dead palette, which kind of has this like retro horror 90s kind of theming to it, although it's kind of a soft pastel palette, but I do think it's really pretty. I did also pick up her Teresa is Lethal palette, but of course that literally just launched today, so I don't have it in my hands just yet. I have Lunar Beauty Moonspell Volume 1. Again, I think the OG Halloween palette that really taught everybody that Halloween was a time that we were willing to buy makeup themed around. So that's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory for you. Then I have Moonspell Volume 2, which I actually don't mind. I do think it's kind of a nice color story, but it's definitely not the same quality. These two shimmers up here, though, are super, super pretty and buttery. I do really like those. I have the Nomad Haunted Europe, which of course understood the assignment. And the color story for that looks like this. Very pretty. I have the Gnome Chrome Halloween palette from Sugar Drizzle, which looks like that. All shimmer palette. And then last but certainly not least is one of the newest palettes of my collection, which I have not yet gotten to play with, but I am so excited to play with. And that is the Bella Beauté Bar Strange and Unusual palette. And the color story looks like this. I cannot wait to dive into this palette. This is the one that I'm like the most excited for. And of course, once I got this palette in, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna need to do a video where I tell you about all the spooky makeup that I have. But this one has to be last because I'm so excited to give it a try. So, with that said, that is a super quick rundown of all of the spooky, haunted, Halloween themed makeup that I have in my collection. You guys are going to have to let me know in a comment down below, do you have any of these items in your collection, or what spooky items do you have in your collection? I'm really vibing with all the Halloween stuff, even though I'm not a big like horror movie watcher. I don't watch any like super scary movies. I really love this kind of like vibe. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'm going to catch you in my next video. Bye!